This is the Dr. Paul Show, a woman's personal guide to understanding men. And now, here's Dr. Paul.
Hi, this is Dr. Paul. Welcome to the Dr. Paul Show. You are three people. No, you're not schizophrenic. You are who you are who you think you are, and you are as others see you. So you are three people. Let's talk about that. Now, one of the university exercises that I underwent in communication psychology went as follows, and I would highly recommend that you follow the same. It's very, very unique, one that I haven't heard of in a long time, and one that we utilized at that point, and I think that it really helps you to find out who you are. When Socrates said, "Know thyself," back in, 339 BC, he was really telling you what you need and what we've needed over the ages. Too many people do not know who they are. Thusly, they can't relate to others. So if you want to relate on a communicative basis with another human being, and by the way, guess what? This is a relationship show. So you want to relate to another person on a romantic basis, it's a good idea to know who you are. Let me give you a technique, and here it is. I want you to meditate with your eyes closed. Meditate with your eyes closed. I want you to think about what you like about you. All right, you've closed your eyes, you're meditating very quietly, and now you're starting to image what you think about you, what you see about you. Where are you? The first three things that come to mind happen to be the strongest. I want you to select 6 separate things. The second 3 will also be how you visualize yourself. Now, 3 things are going to happen. You're going to have a better feeling for you. You're going to have a better feeling for others seeing you. And finally, you're going to have a better image of who you are. Now, write these 6 items down. Remember, take the 6 items that you see yourself involved with as you see yourself so others see you. So what you want to begin to do is you're going to be able to make certain that when people see you, they're going to see the person you want them to see. Remember, we said there are 3 things that you have to do, 3 things that you are. You are who you are who you think you are, and you are as others see you. So now we're going to put into play a matrix of 6 items. 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 3, as I said, are the strongest. Regardless, they all have equal value, but the first 3 you think about are where you really see yourself. So, but you're going to get the 6th in there. So you can exercise the whole milieu, as the French would say. And we want to see you project that so that others see you as you want them to see you. Are you with me on that? Okay, we're going to have a pop quiz on this. Bill, you ready to take the pop quiz?
How about, well, you do have a caller, Randy from Maryland. He's on hold, and he's looking to ask you how to be romantic on the first date. So he's standing by.
All right, we're going to get to Randy right after we go through this intro on who you are. Let him know that. Thank you. So what we're going to do here is have you look at yourself, and now after you've done that and you see yourself, we're then going to have you project that into others. How is that going to help you in a relationship? Let me tell you. You coordinate that with what you want as far as the love of your life is concerned. You see yourself, and now you project yourself into others so that you draw to yourself the type of person that obviously wants what you are. You're going to coordinate that. Too often people say, I know what I want. And too often, more than that, they say, I don't know what I want. What you need to know is what you don't want. You need to know what you want, and you need to know what you don't want. Because what's left is getting rid of the negative. This is what I don't want in someone. I had an idea for a TV show. The idea was you take a dozen women, you take one man, and they start asking him questions and start selecting. They're selective as to who's going to go with them and who isn't. Well, there's a similar show on now with 30 women. And one man will come out, and then they state if they like them or not. In front of these people, they have a lectern, the women, and there's a white light and a red light. If they don't like the guy, they hit a red light. Well, on the first round, there are 3 rounds for each man. The host went up and asked, well, why did you red light this guy? One guy came in, she said, I don't like facial hair. The guy had a beard. Well, fine, that's her prerogative. We don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to be. If you don't like somebody with facial hair, then say so. That's it. It's some guy that's on 2.5 Men now. He had facial hair, and then they shaved the hair, and people said, he might look better. I don't know. Kushner is his name, something. Anyway, the point is that if you don't like it, you are under no obligation to do what others want you to do. You are your own person. Please be your own person. That's the point. Be your own person. We're not going to go through life trying to placate other people. That's so frustrating. To hell with them. Who cares? You are who you are. And that's when you start projecting reality. Sometimes people feel they have to be something different at work. They have to be something different at home. No, you don't. You be you. I'm not saying to not get along or be obstinate. I'm saying be the person you are. And if someone doesn't like it, that's their problem. You don't have to placate them. And in this age of political correctness, we're missing out on being ourselves. Another woman I remember in this show said something about the guy was too aggressive for her. But another woman liked that. So you never know what somebody's going to like. I had an email, several weeks ago, and the woman said, well, how can I change to have men like me? In fact, she called in, I think it was last week, and I said, don't. Be the person you are, and guess what? You're going to find the person who wants you just the way you are. They'll love you for you, not for who you're trying to be. That'll never last. You'll never have a relationship that's long-term if you try to be something other than who you are. People don't change. You don't change either. You may modify your behavior, but that doesn't mean you change. So it goes. Well, look, we're going to go to a break upcoming. We've got a caller on the line. This is very important. Again, you are 3 people. You are who you are who you think you are, and you are who others see you. This is Dr. Paul. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Dr. Paul Show. This is Dr. Paul. We have Randy from Maryland who has patiently been waiting on the line. Hello, Randy. You're on board with Dr. Paul.
Hey, good evening, Dr. Paul. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Hey, I need some advice from you, man. I know it's right, but I've never been on second dates. For some reason, I don't know. They tell me they don't see me as a romantic person. So how would I be romantic?
Well, what they're telling you, Randy, is that you're not romantic. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, they told me that I'm not romantic. How would I be romantic towards them?
All right. May I ask you a few questions?
Yeah.
All right. You can answer them as you choose or not, whatever. Randy, where do you go or what do you do on this first date?
Okay, what I do, I usually open the doors for them.
Well, where do you go? What location? Where do you go? What happens on that first date?
I mean, I go to like an all-you-eat restaurant.
Okay.
All you can eat.
All right. Let me set a different mood for you. All right.
All right. I'm going to write this down. So.
All right. That's fine. Take your time.
All right.
Women like mood. Okay. They like the ambiance. They like the setting. I'm going to suggest to you something that may be a little off the wall. I have done it. I've had some success, I can assure you. And if you didn't think so, you wouldn't be calling me. And I'm not trying to be self-serving here. I'm trying to give you some benefit of what, I know works. Instead of going to a restaurant like that, what you want to do, you want to have an area where you can talk to them. Try, if you can, early evening at sunset. Perhaps you have a park in the area you're in. Are you near the water in Maryland?
Largo, Maryland.
Okay, are you near?
The only thing is they don't have certain restaurants in Largo. They only have eating restaurants, but I don't think they're romantic though.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want you to go to a restaurant. I want you to do this. I want you to pick her up and have the food already. I don't care if it's a sub that you have made at a place, or if you have something that that's takeout from a grocery that has a deli. Then you take a little, this is going to sound maybe a little off the wall to you, but I want you to try it. Take a little candle. You can buy them someplace for a couple bucks that happen to be in a little glass container. And you say, you probably are more used, and you say to her, let's call her Susie, okay? Is that good with you?
Yeah.
All right. Susie, I know a lot of guys probably take you to restaurants and everything, but I'm a little more romantic than that. You use the word romantic. You got that? Because you've been put down for not using or not being romantic. So you use the word romantic. You plant that seed right away. I'm a little more romantic than that, Susan. What I'd like to do is go to a park. I've got something for us to have together, a little candle here, and just take her. And then say, sit. I don't care if it's a park bench. Light the candle, sit down, and look at her and talk. The breeze is blowing, nice evening. Then you have set the mood. Now you've set the mood. Do you see that? Are you agreeing with this? Can you do this?
I could do it, but the only thing is, what if I don't drive?
Well, let her drive.
Okay, so
can you do that?
It's okay to meet up, though? Or?
Well, sure. You can meet up and say, okay, look, stop by this deli. I have a surprise for you. Women love surprises. You have a surprise? Oh, you'll love it. Trust me. Trust me on this one. It's kind of romantic. I hope you don't mind if I'm a romantic person. Get right into that.
Email me the advice. That will help me.
Excuse me?
Can you email it to me?
Well, you'll have to take notes because I'm so backed up with in fact, we have emails right now. If you can replay this if you wish. The podcast is on irnbroadcast.com, irnbroadcast.com. You can hear it again. Okay? So when you go, she picks you up, you take her to this park, and you sit down, you light the candle, and you start talking. And what you want to do is I said you start talking, but I want you to start listening. And you ask the woman how she feels about something. How do you feel about guys that are romantic? And then you stop talking. I don't care if it takes her a minute to answer. You look at her and don't interrupt. Just let her think, and then she'll respond. And once she starts, she will talk and let you know how she feels. And when you're finished with that, she's going to think that you're the most romantic guy on earth. What did you do?
Ask her how she feels.
How do you feel about men who are romantic? That's a good opener. And then listen.
My phone's breaking up. How do you feel?
How do you feel about men who are romantic? And then you listen. What you've done is you've established up front that you are a romantic guy. You're not going to let anybody put you down again for you taking them to a restaurant or something. It's noisy. They can't hear you. They later say, well, you're not very romantic. Okay, so you're going to tell them you are by going to a different place with a more quiet atmosphere in nature. It's going to be, you've got this candle, you light it, maybe it's got a scent of vanilla or whatever, and then you and ask her questions, and you listen. When you're finished with that first date, she's going to think you're Mr. Wonderful. She's at least going to say, well, here's a guy that listens to me. And what's the number one objection women have with men? What is it, Randy?
They don't listen.
Thank you. Very good. Right. My producer, Bill, is laughing. Don't laugh, Bill. I know you learned that from me, too. He's shaking his head. So that's the best thing you can do. And you can ask her the question. I may be different. I have to apologize. I may be different from other men, but I listen. Wow, you made points with...
What question I should ask her, though? That's the question. What question I should ask her?
You just ask her one question. How do you feel? Remember, you never ask a woman what she thinks. You ask her how she feels. I got that?
Okay.
Get the word think out.
Can I take it to like a romantic restaurant or?
No. Don't go to a restaurant. Stay away from restaurants. They're noisy people, blah, blah, blah. No. Go to a park. Go to a seaside. Go to a lakeside. Go to a park. Get out of the restaurant habit. That's loud. It's noisy. If you have to go to a restaurant for an anniversary or something, you go to a nice, maybe secluded restaurant. It's probably going to be pricey. You don't want to go there because they're not going to respect you if you take her to a restaurant that's very pricey up front. The reason being is she thinks you're trying to buy her. Don't go there. You're going to go to a place that's different. You're different. You're different from Joe Blow over here or the rest of the guys. You're your own man.
So I could go to a park. Like, there's a park in D.C., though.
Okay, good. If there's a park, you go there. You sit down with her and have a. I don't care if you have a sub and sodas, whatever you have, and sit there and talk to her. Light the candle. Take the little candle. It costs you a couple bucks. Take the candle. Light the candle. So, I've always wanted to have a candlelight dinner with a lady like you. How can you miss? You think you're going to lose on that basis? She'll see you again. Now, what I want you to do, Randy, is go ahead.
The park I go to, I don't think they have any like 2 seats. Like there's a park like just 2 people to sit together.
They have a park bench. They have a picnic table.
No, it's a park bench. Like everybody sits down. Like
well, then take a blanket, put it on the ground.
Huh?
Take a blanket, put the blanket on the grass. You think that's funny, but women like that. My man, I can tell you. I'll tell you what I'll do. Any women out there right now listening, okay, watching me on tantalk1340.com or listening to the Tampa Bay area or in Little Rock, if I'm wrong, call me up and tell me I'm wrong. If I'm right, call me up and tell me I'm right. You've got nothing to lose. Right now, you have nothing to lose, right?
Okay, so get a blanket.
Sure.
Get a small blanket.
No, get a big blanket. You're going to have food there. You're going to have her there. If you get a small blanket, she's going to sit too close to you. That speaks for it's kind of suspicious. You get a big blanket, lay it down, and say, wow, isn't this nice? Too often people go to noisy restaurants. We don't want to do that, do we? She's going to agree with you.
But the candles, I don't know about the candles, though.
One candle for a couple bucks in a little glass. You've seen the candle. It looks like in a little glass bowl. You light the candle, it's work. There it is. It'll sit right on the blanket.
Yeah, I never light matches before, but I know there's a match store. Like, you could just buy.
Well, get a lighter. The lighter will work. They've got matches all over the place. Lighters, whatever. Set it down there. At least you got past what your first objection was. Randy, I heard you say women tell you they don't take a second date because you are not romantic. Now, how more romantic can you be than what I'm suggesting? You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Call us back. Tell us how that works, okay?
Okay, but I just started talking to this young lady, like, on Friday, but I'm not in a rush to meet her yet.
Okay, well, then tell her always tell them I've got a great surprise for you. Maybe I'm a little too romantic, but tell me what you think. That's fine. Okay?
I don't know. I'm going to take your advice. So, like, if I ask her, can I tell her I have a surprise for you?
Sure, I have something I think you're going to like. That's even better. I have something I think you're going to like, something different.
Oh, like when I want to meet her, tell her, like, I got something that you're going to like.
Right. Place we're going to go, I think you're going to like. This is different. But I'm kind of romantic.
I got something.
And remember to tell her, maybe I'm kind of a romantic type guy, so, maybe you'll like this. Of course you'll like it. Dr. Paul said she'd like it.
Okay, I can tell her that I got something you're going to like.
Right. And remember, it's how she feels, not what she thinks. You ask a woman how she feels. And remember to look her in the eye and listen. Rule number 1, listen. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Okay, Randy?
Okay, rule number 1, listen. And can I give her small roses too? Or
no, it's a little too heavy up front. Little too heavy up front for roses. Just, do the candle thing and ask her how she is, blah, blah, blah. You know how it works. And then you're cool, okay? And ask her just open-end questions and then listen. Let her answer. More guys I've seen ask a question and then start talking and the woman never gets to answer it. So what are you telling them? You're not important enough for me to listen to what you're saying. You got that?
I gotta let her do all the talking.
That's exactly right, buddy. All right, very good. Randy, thank you. We're going to go to a break. This is Dr. Paul, and Randy, thank you again for calling. Let us know how it works out.
This is for Randy in Maryland. If you'd like to be on the Dr. Paul Show, call toll-free 1-866-826-1340.
Please come to Boston for the springtime.
Or 727-441-3000. Dr. Paul returns in just one moment. Once again, here's Dr. Tough Love, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Bill. Good job. Persuasion. I wanted to get into that because I've got a question for the love doctor. The lady says, I need advice. Dr. Paul, can you help me? Okay, here goes. I met this guy. He pursued me for a month, to persuade me to go out with him, and I finally went out with him. So there was the word persuade, and she was persuaded. It was so great, so we started dating. About 4 months into the relationship, he came to me and informed me that he has strong feelings for me, but that he had some things going on in his life and needed to take care of, and proceeded to say that I would fall in love with him and we would only break my heart, and doesn't want to do that to me. Wow. So he's already saying that you would fall in love with him and he didn't want to break your heart. Well, there you go for ego, right? I said, okay, so basically we stopped having sex, but we have been bonding and getting closer every day. His problem resolved itself, and we both have been dating other people, but we still hang out together 2 to 3 times a week, go to dinner, he comes over, and I go to his place, go to the movies, and we talk and laugh and thoroughly enjoy each other's companies. It's like we are dating each other, but we are not intimate. We are just friends, or are we more than friends? Wow. Interesting. So up front, you were intimate, and now you're not. Okay. I know everything he does, where he is, what gives. I do not understand what's going on with this guy. He knows I like him. My friend wanted to set me up, and I told him and said I wasn't going to do it. And he asked, why not? I said, because I like you. He got the biggest smile on his face. We are best friends. I really, really like him. I am so confused. What do I do? Then I'm afraid to ask him what's what, because I'm afraid to hear he doesn't feel the same way about me. But on the other hand, this is driving me crazy. Why can't he just let me go? He calls me, he texts me every day, and even if it's just to say hi. Wow, that's something unusual I haven't heard before. So not only is you were intimate up front, apparently from what you said, and then you stopped being intimate, started being friends, quote unquote. You continue being friends, and then you're seeing each other. You know where you happen to be, both of you. And then he comes up with, I want to introduce you to a guy. It's very unusual. It wouldn't be unusual if he hadn't been intimate with you up front. But the fact that he had been, and now he's become friends, is unusual. This is different. You know, it's going to be one of the situations where it's time to fish or cut bait. You're either going to have to confront him and say, look, here's how it is. I want to keep seeing you, but I want to see you on a romantic basis, not on a friendship basis. Or maybe you're going to say, okay, then we'll see each other on a friendship basis. Maybe you like that friendship. Bill, you've got an answer for us. What is it?
Well, it's like, you know, when a woman says that, that's like the big stop sign, and you need to move somewhere else, right? When she goes, I don't really find you attractive. I just want to be friends.
Now, Bill, be nice. All right.
Well, women say that.
But this is the guy saying it.
Oh, the guy saying that.
The guy is saying it.
Oh, well,
that's what I'm saying. This is a different animal altogether.
I mean, I guess it could be the same, but it drives me nuts, like fingers down a chalkboard when a woman says that.
Well, I've never experienced that myself, Bill. Well, yes, I have, but we all have. And men and women both have experienced that. It's just one of those things that happen in life. And oftentimes, Bill, it's not you, it's them. Trust me on that one. It oftentimes has nothing to do with you. It happens to be involved with them. Well, let's go back into this. Here's what I would do. Here's a Dr. Tough Love suggestion as to how to handle this guy. You tell him, you really want me to meet somebody, a friend of yours? Well, yeah. You're trying to introduce me to him? Uh-huh. Sure, I want you to meet this guy. I think you'll like him. Wonderful. I want to meet him. Wow. Call his bluff. Okay? Okay, corral time. High noon, baby. Let's put your money where your mouth is. Let's see some action here. You want me to meet this guy? Perfect. Let's make it happen. When you go out with a guy, you don't go to bed with him, but you go out with him and say, oh, rave about him to this guy. Oh, he's fantastic. I really appreciate what a guy. We've started out as friends. I'm sure this is going to go someplace. Now he might change his mind. He might say, whoa, what have I done wrong? Maybe I needed to think about this first. That was a bad idea. But you let him know how great this guy is, see? And suddenly he may change his tune and back off and say, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe we ought to talk about this. That is my suggestion. And I know it's fish or cut bait time there. It's do or die. He may say, oh, great, and still be your friend. I doubt it. I may be wrong, but I believe it's not going to happen. I believe he's going to have second thoughts about what he's done. He sounds very cavalier. Oh, yeah, I'm a good guy. I don't want to break your heart. Well, guess what? By doing this, you might break his heart. All right, get back with us. Tell us how this is going. See what happens, and let us know that. All right, we're going to go to the next letter. I like that one. That's very good. Thank you for sharing. Here's one that came in. Is your partner, I've had a lot of these. Is your partner a sociopath? I believe we've had so many hits on this on the internet about the interview we did with the lady who wrote the book. And here's one. We've got a number of them that came in this week. This individual says, I think they already know how to blend in. These quote-unquote animals are masters of deceit. The question is, how in the hell do we deal with them as a society? So, you see, the sociopath is one that we've all come into contact with. They're incorrigible. Many of them are in prison, and rightly so. But there are people out there. And there are people in various walks of life who are sociopaths. I don't care if they're ministers, if they're priests, whatever, if they're clergy. I don't care what they are. If they are sociopaths, if they're politicians, and we know we have plenty of politicians or people who are political or people who are involved with politics, they're total sociopaths. They have no feeling for anything other than their own ends. The end justifies the means. It's over. That's it. We've had many people in royalty over the course of ages that have been sociopaths, complete families. You know, that's how it works. So, yeah, they're there. And if you identify them and you see them and you can know who they are, get away from them. Get away from them for your protection and the protection of your family. Once they involve themselves with you, it's tough to get rid of them. Okay, go to the next one. I have a question for the Love Doctor. I'm backed up on these, and I apologize to all of you who have been sending in these emails. I really need to respond to them, and I'm trying to do that. We have had tons of them, just an incredible number. We try to pick out the ones that are similar and take one out of that group, and that's what we've been doing. Here's one. I need advice from the Love Doctor. There is this guy who looks at me all the time. We always seem to catch ourselves staring at each other, and sometimes we hold eye contact for a few minutes. I have a sense that he is interested in me, but we're both in a serious relationship with other people. Uh-oh. He has never spoken to me, and I feel this is because we only see each other when a lot of other people are around at our children's school. I think an affair is going to become evident here. The school year is coming to an end, and now he seems to park real far away from me while he went out of his way to park next to me for months. I still notice him staring. He is also making it very obvious that he is parking far away. It's really out of the norm. I wonder, he has lost interest, or is he intentionally doing it to get me since the school year is coming to an end? I am driving myself crazy trying to figure him out and find myself depressed about it all the time. I really have feelings for this guy, but I feel like I should avoid looking at him or showing him any attention now since he is acting this way. Any advice would be wonderful. I am at a loss, and it now seems to be interfering with my work. Are you both married? I don't know this. Is he married and you are not? Maybe he has second thoughts. Maybe he has a commitment. You did say that we're both in a serious relationship with other people, which tells me that you've already talked. And you both are in a serious relationship with other people. So maybe he's trying to back off. He's probably saying, you know, if I get involved with this woman, I can see where this is going to go. I don't want to risk the relationship that I'm in. Therefore, I'm going to back off. Again, you probably have communicated. I can see that from what you're saying. It's your choice. If you want him, okay, but remember, you're taking the risk of torpedoing your own relationship as well. He may have made that choice. He may have parked away from you for a reason. He may glance over at you or look at you, but he's saying to himself, I really don't want to follow up with the relationship that I have. That's how I'm reading this. That's the way it goes. Be careful. You know, be careful what you'll settle for. You may get it. Sometimes we involve ourselves with somebody in an affair, and it's a disaster. They're awful. Now you got to live with that. Oh, my God, I had an affair with somebody, and I'm back with my supportive person, the person that I have a serious relationship with, and I really feel depressed about that. And the other person was not really good either as a sex partner, or especially not as a sex partner, or as an individual, as a human being. And now I've done something I otherwise would rather not have done. So it goes. You people really give me some tough questions. This is tough tonight. I think Bill selected some of these, and he's trying to put Dr. Paul on the spot. Is that it, Bill? He shakes his head. See how you are? All right, we're going to go to a break. We've got something coming up that Bill has selected. We might enjoy this one.
Welcome back to the Dr. Paul Show. Once again, to be on the program, call toll-free 1-866-826-1340 or 727-441-3000. Once again, here's Dr. Tough Love, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Bill. That's a great intro. I appreciate that. And by the way, the reason we're going to put this together, and that's why Bill selected that, this is about somebody that met somebody in church. So we got the amens in there. Kind of sort of religious here. All right. Dear Dr. Paul, I need your advice. Hi, Dr. Paul. I know it's an old story, but I'd love to hear the advices and opinions you have. There's a man. He still shows signs, and he stares at me. I came late for church, and he seemed normal until when he saw me. His pupils seemed bigger than normal, although I was not sure if it was true. Do you remember when we talked about people having addictions to other people? Well, that's what happens. Their pupils get larger, almost like being on a drug. Truly is the case. All right, so we know this. I remember taking a psych class, and they did an experiment on this. In fact, if you see the I think a series called Lie to Me, and they'll show that the pupils get larger. They can study the face. This guy is definitely interested. Yeah, Bill.
If you're talking about when a person's eyes get larger, would
Yes.
would it still, I mean, now I'm just not to be funny or anything, but would it hold the same as if the blood was flowing down to the other certain area to
Well,
be
that's very
excited?
possible, Bill. That's because your hormones are coming into effect. Yes, that's true. All right. He seemed to be happier. I just quickly noticed, like, he seemed to be surprised. He served on my side later after serving me, and then to the next person. Apparently, this is a ritual in their church. He did not know it was my cousin when he served, but he seemed to look at her real quick, and then he glanced toward my direction. I already went back to my seat. So apparently it's some sort of maybe a communion or something that they're taking. I felt like he glanced at me when the Mass ended. Okay. He held the cross and looked toward me in my direction, smiled happily. I had to stay for my little cousin's baptism ceremony. When he walked out, he did not walk away from me, but was kind of close to me, just not close enough to touch my shoulder. I called my little cousin back as she walked toward the door. I noticed him standing close to the door, but did not go out. He just stood there, like waiting to do something, smiled in my direction. Now, I am presuming that this is perhaps not the priest, but a person who is helping to serve Mass. That's what I think. If it is the priest, well, I have no comment. I don't make moral or value judgments. Life goes on. Later, he had his phone out, so I guess it was a person who was help serving the Mass. I noticed him standing close to the door but not go out. He just stood there like waiting to do something, smiled in my direction. Later, he had his phone out, I believe so, because no one else was left besides my family. Even there he was. Only a few people sat away above to one side of the church, yet my family members all sat down on the other side. He just only stood there and played with my cousin. I was having fun, so I did not pay attention to him. When I did, he was gone. I thought if he has someone there, then there's no point in staying after church like that or acted so happy like something's funny. In addition, he would avoid walking close to me. If he likes me as a friend, then he should feel comfortable talking to me like he does with everyone else since the beginning. No, this is not the case. And your observation about his pupils seeming to enlarge was absolutely an excellent observation, and you called it right. That was a good analysis. The times I first met him, he talked to me twice. One was when he first came over and asked me a question over and over. Second time, he did not have a long conversation, but then just later became quiet. Sounds like he's somewhat shy. Every time I asked him, poked him, he just smiled, looked down, and did not answer or say anything. It was not like him at all when I heard he's not shy. So he's shy with you, but apparently not with others. This time he poked me. It was soft. I almost didn't notice. I don't know exactly what he wants and why he acts that way. I want to talk to him as a friend first, but since he did not reply to my message online, it was hard to talk to a person except there's a chance to meet everyone as a group. I'm stuck. All friends who know him told me just ignore him. No, I wouldn't ignore him. You don't want to ignore him, do you? He doesn't want to ignore you. You go after him. How many times has Dr. Paul told women, you be assertive? Now, I see by your name, that maybe in the culture you're in or that perhaps the church that you're in or whatever, you may not, choose to be assertive. Well, guess what? Be assertive. Do it. You know who's going to hurt if you don't? You are. You don't want to hurt yourself, do you? Of course not. So then be assertive. Get what you want. If you are interested in pursuing somebody, do it. The one time you don't may be the one time that you really needed to be involved with somebody. Do your analysis. I believe in gut feeling. Know what you don't want. And we've said that frequently. We know what we don't want. This is something that you do want. Go for it. You'll never know if you don't try. Do it. Dr. Tough Love's advice. There it is. And you know what happens? People oftentimes get back with Dr. Paul and say, wow, am I glad you said that, Dr. Paul, because I did pursue it and it really worked out. Man, I hate to think of what would have happened if I did not do it. Be assertive. Try it, you'll like it. Trust me. Would I lie to you? Of course not. No, I wouldn't. Tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. That's right. I'll tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Here's one again on the YouTube for Is Your Partner a Sociopath? Very insightful interview. I've learned a lot. And I absolutely have found these traits to be evident in my dealings with one of my psychopathic relatives. Wow. You have my sympathies. If you have a psychopathic relative, be careful. I mean, you identified it. You know the person. You know what kind of traits that person has. Be careful. It's the real deal. Many people have said I've had experiences with them, and it's not fun. So there you have one. Here's another one, but not on psychopaths. Dear Dr. Paul, I need advice. I would like to contact Dr. Paul. I'm a male who believe in a relationship with a narcissistic woman for a short time. Would like to find out more. Please contact me. We can't do that. I apologize for that. We're just inundated. We're overwhelmed with the emails we're getting. But I will answer it on the air right now. First thing I want you to do is go to a website and find out what a narcissistic person is all about. You have been involved with a narcissistic person. Oftentimes they're very attractive and they know it. And they tell you they know it. Maybe if you go into their homes, they will have pictures of themselves all over the walls. They will talk to you about themselves repeatedly. You are subservient to them. You are listening to them. You're supportive of them. This woman wants to tell you about me, and then she'll tell you more about me. Once you begin talking, you can read the person. The person will look bored. The worst of all worlds, look at their watch. Good heavens. Bad idea. Remember when H.E.W. Bush, that's the old man Bush, was in the debate with Clinton, and he looked at his watch, and everybody said, "Oh, you don't have time for us or the debate?" He was done right there. That little action did it. It did. I mean, it did. And people commented it for weeks after that. He looked at his watch like he was, I don't have time for this. And everybody in the nation was looking. Well, she's doing the same thing or will do the same thing. You can tell that narcissistic people only have time for themselves, not for you. You don't count. So go to the website, go Google that, narcissist and see what makes them tick. Yes, you can work around that if you will, if you choose to, but that's your choice, and it won't be easy, I promise. Got another quick one right here. How are we doing, Bill? All right, we'll continue. We're going to I need advice. Dear Dr. Paul, hello. I deeply appreciate the information that you have given to others. I would like you to give information to me. I have one question, if I may. How can I remove the good feelings I experience when someone I care about comes into mind? Why would you want to remove them? I enjoy the good feelings, however overwhelming and controlling. Is there anything I can do to stop this madness the moment it begins? Thank you, Dr. Paul. Of course not. Enjoy it. Live for the moment. You have good feelings about someone unless you've broken up with them and you can't see them again, and that's what's causing you this madness. If that's the case, then I want you to try to visualize this person in the most despicable situations you possibly can. That helps. But that's not what you're saying. How can I remove the good feelings I experience when someone I care about comes into mind? Well, you don't want to remove that. If you care about the person and you're thinking about the person, good for you. You have a romantic addiction. Nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it. It's a rare thing in life. My suggestion to you is if you're still in contact with this person and you may be away from this person for the day or the week or 3 days or whatever, enjoy it. Absolutely. I highly recommend that you simply enjoy the moment. There's so few moments left to us. Maybe December 21st, 2012 is the end of whatever, but we don't know that yet, do we? I think we're going to go to one quick one here. Dear Dr. Paul, I need advice. My friend and I are both female students in my first year of graduate school. She's a senior undergrad. We're both interested in men, but we really get nervous around them. We don't really know if we can trust them because they all seem to be out for sex. Wow. Who would have guessed? We don't know how to flirt. What advice can you give us? I'm going to hold this for next week. I like this one. I'm going to hold it for next week for certain. In the meantime, as always, this is Dr. Paul. May your fantasies of today be your realities of tomorrow.
Dr. Paul's philosophy is based solely on his observations developed through years of experience and thousands of listeners.